Hello, this is Mr. Huff, and let's talk about sending a drawing to an expert. So at this point, you should have a technical drawing completed of the prototype you intend to build or some iterations of that. And you need to get expert advice from the people you've reached out to give you some direction and make sure that you're on the right path and to make sure that you haven't overlooked something. So to do this, you need to produce a slide deck. And on the first slide, you're going to include your project title, a statement of the problem, who's working on it, and please include the Midlothian Innovative Learning Experience kind of down at the bottom somewhere so we know where it's originating from. On the second slide, you need to put your isometric views. This is where using different colors for the different pieces will be helpful to understand the assembly. You also need to, on this slide, include a description of how the prototype is functioning or how it's going to be used. And I would also recommend including a link to your Onshape project. On the third slide, include an orthographic view of the assembly. And this is the major piece, so the whole thing, not the sub-assemblies, but the overall object. Include the top, front, and right as orthographic views that have no shading, and then an isometric view that is shaded. Include the overall dimensions for length, width, and depth. Some of you will need to include cross-section views, so feel free to add a slide for those. Because to understand the interior happenings as far as the function of your prototype, you may need to include that. For the next slide will be the bill of materials, so just copy and paste in the table that has the material, quantity, the cost, and the total that you plan to spend on materials for your prototype. Export this as a PDF, so you'll have a short PDF for them to look at that explains your prototype design. Then you're going to send an email to your expert, copy me on it as well. And be sure you put in a subject line. A lot of times you guys just start an email and you type it up and it doesn't have a subject. So be sure you include a subject line because it's the professional thing to do. The content would look like this. Dear Mr. Bean, please find attached a PDF I created which shows the exact prototype I intend to make to solve my problem, a multi-purpose nose hair trimmer. Also attached is a short survey created to help in this evaluation process. Please complete the survey for me. If you have any questions, feel free to write to me at this email address and copy Mr. Huff. I thank you for supporting me in this important project. Sincerely, and then your name. So whenever you send the email, make sure you have the PDF attached and you include this link to your survey. But this is essentially all you need to use to reach out to your experts for their feedback. And this is an important step. Don't skip this.